Hello, Swartz Creek Dragons. My name again is Jim Kitchen. I'm the Deputy Superintendent here in Swartz Creek.
And I am Rodney Heatherton, the Superintendent of Swartz Creek Community Schools. We are very excited today because we have our first ever guest on the Dragon Nation podcast, and that guest is Reese Warham. Reese, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Let me just first say I'm honored to be here. Shocked I was the first choice, but I'm excited about that. So I moved to Swartz Creek about 7th grade. I love Swartz Creek. I love our community. I'm a senior this year currently.
Class president too, right?
Yes. So about freshman year, I was like, how do people become what they are? Like, what do they do? And so I went down to the office and I was like, I want to be class president. I don't think I said it like that, but they handed me the form and I didn't run. No one ran against me, so I kind of just got put there. But it's been a really great journey with Swartz Creek and being class president and doing this and getting to meet administration. I really enjoy it. So.
That's cool. I was going to say she manifested it. She said, I want this. And she beat out many candidates for this job, but many. So basically, just so you guys at home know, it's very grueling to become a student board representative. So Reese has to submit an application. She has to get letters of recommendation. She has to have excellent citizenship, good grades. And then she goes through a process of interview with typically it's 4 staff members. And then they choose the person that they think would be the best representative for our school district and specifically the high school. So Reese, with that, what is it like being a student representative on the Board of Education?
It's honoring, to be honest. It gets a little bit long sometimes, but it's really good to know what goes behind the scenes. And I love how many members that we have that come to our meetings that go like the food, Tony.
Yep, Delgado.
Yes.
Yep.
It was super interesting learning what he does behind the scenes, like on food. You know, it's not something you really think about. So I just love learning what goes on behind like our school.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Well, Jim loves when board meetings go long.
And I love talking about food.
That's true.
I was hungry after that meeting.
Long board meetings and food. Let's go back about, you talked about, you're learning things are new. You are the class president. You're involved in all these things. What is something new that shocked you or that you're really curious about that you didn't realize how schools worked?
I guess I didn't realize that everything goes to you guys. I feel like when you're in high school, you kind of look at the principal as he's the ruler and he makes all decisions. And it's really not like that. Like, you guys do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I wish that students knew more. And I wish that they knew that they all have voices too, and that they can come to our meetings and speak in front of all you guys and make change, which I feel like we should talk about more. But yeah.
Yeah, student voice, that's something we talk all about, especially when we're talking about continuous learning. We're always talking about how do we get student voice. It's funny because we ran an activity today and one of the principals said that I am the driver of my school unless Jim or Rod come over and get on the bus. And then I'm not the driver anymore. And that's kind of how it works a little bit. We do try to have a pulse on everything that goes on. I don't think some people realize that. But obviously we can't be aware of everything because there's so much going on. We don't know the details, and we try not to micromanage. However, we do try really hard to have that pulse and to give the district a direction. Have your peers reacted to you at all as having this unique role that no one else has?
I've actually had a lot of students reach out to me and say, how do I become what you were doing? And I feel like that's such a cool thing. And also the board meetings, I've had students say, I want to go to a board meeting and be able to speak what I feel. And I feel like that's really cool to be able to have that.
Yeah, because you speak a voice, and really that's your role. Your role is to come to the board with the voice of the students. I think you do well with that, with your reports that you give each month that take place in all of our buildings, not just the high school. You mentioned principals, being, I guess you sparked a thought in my mind because I was an elementary principal and then at the high school. But at the high school, it's almost like being a governor when you said, it's like a small town. You don't just have teachers that have opinions and support staff with opinions, but you have 1,100 students with unique perspectives and opinions. So it's almost like being there with 1,300 adults. And I believe that student voice is important. And as a result of that, you actually prepared an opportunity for students to have even more voice through the roundtable. Can you tell us how you came up with the roundtable process this year?
So there was a lot of pressure on me to just kind of live up to the past student board reps. But basically, I asked you guys and I asked Sukul, what do I do? How do I go about this? And I went to the counselors and I get a big list of students all throughout the high school, freshman to senior. And I don't know a lot of these kids, so I wanted to get like a good range of just students from any kind of circle. So I just highlighted a bunch of names and then I emailed the kids and I said, this is what's going to happen. Basically, you're going to sit down with board members and staff and you're going to talk to them about how you feel and talk about different topics that were assigned. And I'd love to see you guys there. So kids got a pass, and some didn't want to be there, and that's okay, because I understand it's kind of scary to talk to you guys. And
Jim's the scary one.
yeah, you're not very friendly, sorry. And they showed up, and they sat down at the tables, and they got to talk to different board members, and you guys got different topics.
Yeah.
And even topics that maybe you guys didn't want, because they're a bit sensitive. But you guys rotated, and students got to talk to board members about hallways, lunches, the phone policy, just different things that, I feel like are really important in our school. And pre this, I did like a little survey of like what students wanted to talk about so they could pick the options, and I had a lot of not even just negative feedback, I got positive that saying that like staff in our school is just great and that they love the teachers and what they do for students. So that was really nice too, getting to see the positive stuff.
I was lucky because I had the staff question, and so as I rotated around, I got to hear all of the amazing things that our teachers are doing. Some of the teachers that are going above and beyond, that are helping out after school or doing clubs, or a lot of what I got was just pointing out teachers that were approachable. That seemed to be the most important thing to high school students, was like, this teacher is approachable, and if I need something, or if I'm in a pinch or in a crunch, or I have to run something by it, I have someone to go to. And Jim and I, we talk all the time with our principals about, you need to make sure the kids in your building have one caring adult, because one caring adult can create that connection that then gives a lifeline for a student at school that otherwise, might feel lost or disconnected. So for me, that was a blast, because I thought that was the most positive question, and so I was excited. How did some of the students who got to participate and talk to this variety of adults, how did they respond? Were they thrilled? Were they nervous? Did they say, that went okay?
I had a lot of positive feedback. Some just wanted to go back to class. That's fine. That's fine. I actually have people that are like, can I leave after this and go home? I'm like, no, sorry. But I actually had a lot of positive stuff, and students that wanted to come back and said, thank you for selecting me. Like, I want to be at the next round table. So that made me feel really good. But back on the topic of like having teachers that support you, going from Grand Blanc, which is such a big school, you don't really get that one-on-one with teachers because there's so many students. So at Swartz Creek, I love like the small town feel and knowing that like there's so many teachers in the building that actually care about you, and that's really nice. And it's even aides, lunch ladies, just down to just anybody that's there. So
that is good to hear. And I tell you, you did a wonderful job selecting students. I have to say, we always get a little bit anxious, like we want feedback, but when you step into situations like that where you have 30 or 40 students, like you don't want to get blasted.
Exactly.
And they were so respectful, and our board commented on, they were very positive. There were issues that, and we had our administrators there so they could hear firsthand, and we want to make a difference. We want to take action on things that are important to our students. But you did such a wonderful job at pulling that group together, and they were so respectful and fun to talk to. My topic was how crowded it was in the front lobby. Yeah. And so we were able to talk about and brainstorm what are some ideas that we can do to make it better so that students can flow through that main zone. So I just want to compliment you on that. I thought you did a really nice job, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
I appreciate you guys coming. I really do.
Speaking of flowing through the high school, can you give the audience just a taste of what it's like to be a student at Swartz Creek High School?
It can be a little bit crazy at sometimes, and as a freshman, it is like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of here. This is so scary. But coming from a senior's point of view, it's just, you just go class to class, and the hallways are definitely a bit crowded, that's for sure, because kids like to stay and talk, and that's totally fine. But honestly, I loved high school. I've had a great experience at Swartz Creek. Being a freshman, sophomore, it's a bit scary, but there's a lot of fun activities like dances and just fun things that you get to experience in high school. And I know as adults, you guys probably wish you could go back and just do it one more time. But
that's great.
Well, if you could throw out two things you're most proud of, and then two things you just enjoyed the most.
of high school.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed prom last year because I got to plan that and pick the venue. So I guess
Very cool.
that's being proud of something. That was really, really cool, and seeing all the positive feedback. And especially being able to decorate everything, loved it. And I guess I'm just like proud of our class for doing such a good job. Like we have a really great GPA as a class. So kudos to the seniors for just being good kids and doing so much for us.
I get the fun question.
All right.
So Reese, if you had a magic wand and you could change anything at the high school, what would it be?
So I hear that before I came to the high school, there was a coffee bar that I could see. And
Everybody loves coffee.
Mr. Gillette is going to love this.
yes, please bring it back. I know we have popcorn, but it doesn't do it justice. I wish we had the coffee bar at, like, sometimes when I just want to put my head down, coffee just sounds really great. So I feel like that should, magic wand.
I have heard a rumor that coffee will be coming back in some capacity.
Really?
Yeah, really. I don't know all the
I
details.
won't be here first?
No, well, it could happen before you go. I don't know. But you've been so great. You come back, and Mr. Heatherton will treat you to a coffee. I'm
Okay.
sure.
That's true. Hey, thinking about the future, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I plan to attend Oakland University, and I want to do my 4 years there, and then I'm going to go to law school as the plan and become
Wow.
a lawyer. So that's
Right.
all goes to plan. That's what I want.
Maybe you could come back and be like a school lawyer, and then every time Jim and I have a problem, we could call you up.
And I'll be the.
Oh,
I'm just.
We just want to get the student discount,
Oh,
whatever.
okay. I don't think there's one school lawyer. But
no. Okay. There are a lot of school lawyers.
That's right.
We talk to them way too much. If you could tell anything as far as advice to an incoming freshman, so say maybe a current 8th grader who's going to be a freshman next year, what would you want them to know?
if you want change and you want to see, your ideas come to you, I guess just like go behind the scenes, go to the office, ask teachers, what can I do? If you want to become a leader, join leadership, join different electives that you maybe wouldn't pick, and just expand your horizons.
Wow, that's a great, powerful answer. And to Creek, I'd like to say we often talk about what we want our graduates to look like after they've completed a career in Swartz Creek schools. And I know that Reese came to us in 7th grade, but this is what we hope to see out of our graduates. We want them to really to be inspired to go and do something great and impact the world around them. So it's been wonderful working with you. Looking forward to the rest of the year. And how about any closing holiday thoughts that you might have?
Take the time for the break, relax, drink some coffee, have some cocoa.
Coffee.
Take the break while you can, because it's going to be a long run after the break.
That's
so,
right.
Maybe not for us seniors, but for the rest of the school, I just have a great holiday.
I would echo that. I think that every staff member and student should take advantage of the break. It's a nice long one this year,
Sure.
probably the longest it'll ever be, because we got to make sure we're on that common calendar. But it is, as you say, a long run when we get back, and we really, really hope that you get an opportunity to spend some time with friends and family, to relax, to enjoy yourselves, let your hair down and put your feet up, because we're going to be back at it in January.
That's right. Just cherish family. The things that are of such importance, cherish. Take the moment, the time to really just be around each other and talk and love each other. We thank you for all that you do and for what you mean to Swartz Creek Community Schools. And until the next podcast, we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Swartz Creek.
Thanks for having me.